Well, hello there, you tuberubers and tuberettes alike. It's a short talk in the trailer with the old guy. Get a load of this left eye of mine. Golly, that thing, I went down to the Rio last night. And I thought, well, I'm just going to sit here, kind of in the green stuff right by the water and, listen to the wind. And there were some birds out there. I saw a few ducks go by. Then later on, some young folks came out and they were going to do some kind of wading around in the river and, whatnot. And so I was probably in that green stuff for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and just kind of relaxing. And I'd lay down and just listen to the wind through the leaves. And as I was leaving there, I was driving off, kind of in my eyebrow, right about here. It felt like really weirdly itchy, and I thought, I know what this is, some kind of weird allergen thing. So instead of like scouring my eye with my fist and stuff, I just pushed right here on my eyebrow, just with my fingernail, just pushed in kind of tight, just let it know, okay, I know you're there. But I'm not going to scratch that thing because it just causes it to what? Puff up. I I got home and I thought, boy, that thing is crazy. And so I laid down for a little while, and when I woke up about an hour and a half later, um, the thing was like almost clobbered shut. The most comfortable spot was to keep the eye closed. And I just thought, this is really weird. So ordinarily, I have allergic reactions like that, perhaps in the fall, but in the springtime, I don't remember this before. So that's a new one. So I hope you're having a good day. It's going to be a Thursday out here, and who knows what I'm working on. We went in, and perhaps you might remember something about this. I went into a water heater call. This is now like 2 weeks and more ago, and found out that they were looking for a power vent water heater. And I said, well, that ain't going to be here in town. We're not going to find that. So the darn thing, it still hasn't come in. I guess they're bringing it in by, mule train or something. I don't know. So I'm sure this lady's just going to be overjoyed because we were scheduled to go in and do that tank today, and that ain't going to happen. So anyway, we're going to find out what's happening today. I could head back to the city and where I did this little boo-boo on my hand the other day and keep rolling on that crazy eye wash station thing. Hey, maybe I could use an eye wash station, eh? And, it'd be like, well, if only I could see enough to put the eye wash station together. So anyhow, it's a crazy day. Eric Metaxas has a good vid out with Roman. I'm sorry, I can't remember Roman's last name, but he has his own vid channel. He does a lot of good stuff. And talking about the American church and the kind of a sleep at the switch head trip that's been going on here. And he's saying, I mean, Metaxas is saying that if your church isn't really kind of gung ho and on board with rolling back this tyrannical oppression, which is really moving in swiftly in terms of corruption and lies and fraud, and there's murder involved as well. If your church isn't involved in fighting against that actively, well then go on and find another church. That's what Eric was saying, and I thought, well, what if you can't find another church that's on your page? You know what I mean? So uh, it's a weird situation. I got to thinking about it a little bit like this the other day, and we can kind of work this hobby horse for a minute or two. I was thinking, if you could get in an interview, or we'll get Barbara Walters or somebody, or David Brinkley from the past, or you could use Tucker Carlson if you need an update person. But the talking heads who do the interviews, they always had a microphone in their hand. They kind of do like that. That's old school. And I thought, if we could be interviewed 100 years from now, hey, your name's Mike, right? Yeah. Well, weren't you in that era that was just prior to the end of the age? I mean, right on the hairy edge of it. Yeah, yeah, we lived right through that. Uh-huh. And so, did you do anything to, well, I don't know, prepare? Well, we prayed some. Yeah, well, that's good. Anything else? Well, we had a Sunday school program. But weren't you aware that the world was going to end soon? Yeah. Well, we knew that, but it never really kind of soaked in too far. So we basically were just kind of doing our thing, grocery shopping and sitting down by the Rio and whatnot. And the opportunities that we had to roll back darkness, well, we just didn't take them because we didn't honestly believe that evil was going to get that strong. We didn't think that the structures which had been in place for generations, really, in the United States, that they could collapse that fast. That our, our habeas corpus rights could be just snatched away. That we could be jailed or imprisoned for having the wrong ideas. We didn't think that far ahead. We didn't think that maybe our goods and our money would be taken away and we'd be left with nothing that we could purchase legally. Now, there's still always barter, and you can maybe work a deal with somebody. I don't know about that. But the point is, what did we do to prepare? What did we do in face of this great once in a universe kind of climax to history, the return of the king? You knew he was coming. What did you do in light of that? Well, we had an ice cream social. And so the church is kind of pretty much asleep at the switch as far as I can tell, again. And, I'm the worst one among the midst. I mean, I'm not trying to throw rocks at anybody. And it's just so strange watching all this happen. And so I want to entrust to you as a friend, as a viewer, the idea that we can make a difference, and we really are expected to make a difference. But what difference do we make? I don't know that part. And the part that we need to pay attention to is, are we hearing the Lord? Are we walking according to his call in my life today? And so my call today is to go plumbing and see if we can figure out what's going on and make it right. Do what you do right when you're there, and don't make excuses. Well, that's sort of okay, but that's kind of about 173 jillion miles short of the goal of rolling back the darkness, which is increasing so much. So you be the light in the darkness. The devil and his minions cannot stand and cannot tolerate the witness of Jesus Christ in our midst, that he has risen. He's risen in our lives. He's risen indeed in person. And he has begun to change people around the world. And he's going to complete that work. That completed work will result in a new kind of people formed together as a sort of a one tribe, one clan, one folk, and from every nation and from every tribe and from all over the world, from all over the age, across the age. And in that new thing there, that strengthened and revitalized and resurrected body, well, yes, they could easily roll back, but that resurrection power has already begun. We don't have to wait until we're stood up in our new bodies in order to say, truth is truth and evil is evil, and we are going to side with the Maker. Well, that would be a beginning, I suppose. I'm not here to be your strategy guide. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I don't have a lot of strategies on almost anything. I don't even know how to keep pollen out of my eyeball. But the thing is that we got to realize that we're playing for keeps here. We're playing for hardball. Today's going to be the only day ever in your life that today happens. And that means we need to pay attention and go into it with an attitude that says, this is the day our great God has made, the Lord Almighty. And so we're going to rejoice in it. We're going to give thanks in it for the gift of life and for the gift of the opportunity of trying to work things out as we go. So politics-wise, the Russell Brand baptism, I saw another video by a young black guy who does a lot of Christian work. I can't remember his name either. And he was posting that a lot of Russell's fans are just really opposed and hate the idea that he's been baptized. And I think, well, sounds to me like you need a new group of fans. But the opposition against the church is growing. And if you want to stay true to Jesus, and I reckon that you do, you're going to become the bad guy. You're going to become the narrow-minded bigot. You're going to become the hater. You're going to become the terrorist. You're going to become the boogeyman to these folks. And, well, you just have to allow them to kind of ramble as far as they need to. But to correct and to bring truth and to bring humility back to the conversation. We're responsible for that as well. So in our resurrected power, if we could look, from 100 years in the future or 1,000 years in the future, back to where we are now, what would I have done differently if only I had realized the supernatural power that was available in Christ? What would I have done? And to be honest with you, I can't answer that question. I can't even think what difference I would make as a human. I mean, I can't see myself as a politician. I can't see myself as a preacher. I can't see myself as an opinion maker or an influencer or anything like that. I think my job is to hold the line and to do my job and make sure that my area is correct. What how far, however far I can reach, however far I'm responsible for. And I think if we all had an idea like that, well, then perhaps things would improve some. But that seems optimistic too, doesn't it? So today's a Thursday. Don't let them get you down. Don't let them, block the energy in your life such that you begin to give up or you begin to get all gloomy or you begin to think, oh, well, it's all just going to hell in a handbasket. Out of this mess, he's going to bring out the new thing, the bride of Christ. And the whole world, the whole creation, as the apostle says, is on tiptoes trying to see over the wall, wants to see what this new thing is going to be like. And so as we're being built together, as we're being knitted together as one folk, one people in our master, then we have to remember to be kind-hearted and be patient, because God knows he's been kind-hearted and patient with us. So I don't really expect any kind of rollback of this current tyranny. I think this thing's going to take down the church, take down everything that was held as Western values and truth. We're heading into a new and ugly, dark world. And as the light is himself, Jesus Christ, in us. So that's going to be our strategy. He's going to be the one who carries us in and through this. And if we die along the way, then we die in his arms. But I want to live. I want to live long enough to see him come down and open up that almighty sized can of whoop ass and straighten this damn mess up. That's my ambition. I want to live long. Why? To see him. Amen. You guys have a good day and get out there and do some good stuff today. And try to keep out of those green weeds, man. That stuff's killer on them eyeballs. You have a good day. Bye-bye.